today I'm going to be reading a story about Love You Forever. It will tell you the love between a woman and her newborn son, and hoping that our children will learn how to honor their parents. So without wasting more time, it's about 8:31 now. I think we should start. So this is a story about a young woman's love for her newborn son and how she looks and loves him. And this is a story of how that little boy then goes through the stages of childhood and becomes a man. It is also about the enduring nature of parents' love and how it crosses generation. This book is suitable for children and adults. You can look it up. I absolutely love this book. A friend sent it over to me all the way from Canada, and when I read this story to my children, they love it because it involves singing. Now, because it involves singing, you can see from the poster that I sent, I hope that the parents can also join me. So let's start now. This book is called Love You Forever. A mother held her new baby and very slowly rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while she held him, she sang, "I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be." The baby grew. He grew and he grew and he grew. He grew until he was 2 years old, and he ran all around the house. He pulled all the books off the shelves. He pulled all the food out of the refrigerator, and he took his mother's watch and flushed it down the toilet. Sometimes his mother would say, "This kid is driving me crazy." But at night time, when that 2-year-old was quiet, she opened the door to his room, crawled across the floor, looked up over the side of his bed, and if he was really asleep, she picked him up and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. While she rocked him, she sang, "I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be." The little boy grew. He grew and he grew and he grew. He grew until he was 9 years old. And he never wanted to come in for dinner. He never wanted to take a bath. And when grandma visited, he always said bad words. Sometimes his mother wanted to sell him to the zoo. This is a 9-year-old boy. But at night time, when he was asleep, the mother quietly opened the door to his room, then crawled across the floor and looked up over the side of his bed. If he was really asleep, she picked up that 9-year-old boy and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while she rocked him, she sang, "I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be." The boy grew. He grew and he grew and he grew. He grew until he was a teenager. He had strange friends and he wore strange clothes and he listened to strange music. Sometimes his mother felt like she was in a zoo. But at night time, when that teenager was asleep, the mother opened the door, to his room, crawled across the floor, and looked up over the side of the bed. If he really was asleep, she picked up that great big boy and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. While she rocked him, she sang, "I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always, as long as I'm living, my baby you'll be." That teenager grew. He grew and he grew and he grew. He grew until he was a grown-up man. He left home and got a house across town. But sometimes, on dark nights, the mother got into her car and drove across town. If all the lights in her son's house were out, she opened his bedroom window, crawled across the floor, and looked up over the side of his bed. If that great big man was really asleep, she picked him up and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while she rocked him, she sang, "I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always, as long as I'm living, my baby you'll be." Well, that mother, she got older. She got older and older and older. One day, she called up her son and said, "You better come see me because I'm very old and sick." So her son came to see her. When he came in the door, she tried to sing the song. She sang, "I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always." But she couldn't finish because she was too old and sick. The son went to his mother. He picked her up and rocked her back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And he sang this song, "I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always, as long as I'm living, my mommy you'll be." When the son came home that night, he stood for a long time at the top of the stairs. Then he went into his room where his very new baby daughter was sleeping. He picked her up in his arms and very slowly rocked her back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while he rocked her, he sang, "I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always, as long as I'm living, my baby you'll be." The end. I hope you liked the story of a mother's enduring love for her son and how we go through these stages. We become a child, we grow up, we become a teenager, and then we become a grown-up, and then we become old, and eventually that whole cycle will repeat with the next generation. But what I really want to share with our children is that I want you to think about the many ways your parents show you that they love you and that they care for you. When we love our children, we do things for them. For me, it is about going to work so that we can save up money for their education, to provide the best for them, give them the best food, give them the very best. And that's how we show our love to our kids. Some parents may not earn enough to show the kids in that way, but some parents show that they love their children by spending time with their children. Some parents have acts of service for their children. Your parents love you. They send you to school. They do things out of their way. They sacrifice their sleep. They sacrifice their time to give you the best. So that's how our parents show us that they love us. Now, what about you, children? How can you show your parents your love for them? I want you to start thinking about this in the next few days. How can you love your parents? One very practical way that I can suggest to you, the best way to show that you love your parents is to honor them, listen to their instructions, study hard. When they tell you it's bedtime, go to sleep early, you need to go to sleep. If they tell you there are internet rules, there are rules for you to go online when you're with your gadget, there are rules to follow, you have to listen to them, because that's how you show your love for them. And for those of us who are listening, grown-ups, if you have a parent and your parent is still around, why don't you make a commitment? Take that time to make sure you spend every weekend, if you can. Make sure you commit to something to show them that you love them and you care for them, just like how they cared for us in the past. When I was the Deputy Minister for Women, Family and Community Development, we often heard of stories of children abandoning their parents when the parents grow old. And we do have children who leave their parents behind and don't want to care about the parent. And some parents actually end up spending the latter years all by themselves. And if you can do your best to honor them back for the love that they have given to you when you were a child, I believe that would be the best way to repay them, by spending time with them, taking care of them in return. And that's how we really build a strong nation. When you have strong families, that will lead to a strong community and eventually a strong nation. So there are many ways that we can all rebuild our nation. There are many ways we can rebuild Malaysia together. For children, love your parents, honor them. For parents, you can do the same for your children and for your own parents too. And I really believe that if we all do this together, we will have a very good future for Malaysia, and we can hand on a future to our children by them following our example. So they'll copy everything that we do. So it'll be wonderful if we can show our children what's the best way to love. So if you have enjoyed this series, please leave me a comment. I'm really trying my very best. Because of this COVID-19, it's hard to have mass gathering, but we really want to reach out to young families and also young children. That's how we build our community strong, and that's how we build a strong Malaysia. So good night everybody. I trust it's bedtime, and children, if you are going to sleep now, please remember every night tell your parents how much you love them, how much you treasure them, because your parents really work very hard to give you the very best. And so good night everybody. Thank you so much for listening to Storytime with Hannah Yeoh tonight. Bye.